Hey, what's up, everybody? There's this thing on my face still. Welcome to episode 38, and we have our special guest today that I've met him, man, at least 10 years ago. We've had a couple shows since then. Lanai, give it up for Lanai, everybody. He's our special guest today. And where are you, Lanai?
Man, that is the best introduction I've ever had in my life.
This is live, so I didn't get to. I just dump, so I was late.
How you doing, brother? Nice to see you.
I'm doing good, man. How is everything there?
It's storming right now, believe it or not, but I'm still alive, thank God.
Oh, that's good. I heard you had 0 cases, and then it just shot up for some reason.
Yeah, a bunch of howlies came here, and that was it. Just took over, like the plague.
Right.
Like when Captain Cook showed up.
And for those people, this is live on Facebook, YouTube, IG. So if you guys don't know, what do you call it? Howlies is what Hawaiians call white people.
Yes, white people. They showed up, and then it just blew out of proportion. We're all good now.
Why do they call them Howlies?
How old? Well, it's a Hawaiian word. It's actually doesn't mean white people. It means they couldn't speak the language. They didn't have the breath. So it kind of over time turned into haole. Yeah.
So they didn't have so they're like soulless.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Oh my God, that's the best term. That's worse. You guys came up with a word before Karens. Holy shit.
Yeah, Karens. Yeah, long time ago. Before that, who else is on here? Ryan?
So let me introduce you to everybody. You know Justin Rivera. He was up there in Hawaii with us.
What's up, Justin?
Justin, get unmute.
Sorry,
yourself.
good to see you, man. Good to see you, man.
Do you remember Justin?
Yeah, Justin. Beard now, so I didn't recognize him.
Yeah. It's that quarantine beard.
Table Tutors. He's a DJ, close friend of mine from Vancouver.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Aloha.
He's the DJ for the show, and we got a friend who does videos, and he's also a comedian, Ryan Meluno, Filipino comic, right here.
Oh, Ryan,
and Lanai, you're mixed with Filipino too, right?
Yeah, I'm actually a little more than half Visayan, and I'm Filipino.
Yeah.
Filipino, Italian, Hawaiian, Chinese. I'm all
born and raised in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Your parents were from where? Like your ancestors were
my grandparents from Cebu. I actually 2 grandparents are from Cebu.
Both of them came to Hawaii.
No, 2 different on both sides are from Cebu.
Oh wow, mom and dad.
Right, yeah.
Oh, wow.
My mom's side, my father, and then on my dad's side, my father is my grandfather as well.
And your grandfather was from Cebu and moved to Hawaii.
Yeah, they were like on one side it was my great grandfather came in, the early 1900s, and then on the other side it was my grandfather who came when he was like 8 or 9 years old.
Damn.
So both my parents were born in Hawaii.
So can you speak Hawaiian language?
I know just words. My kids speak Olelo. They call it Olelo Hawaii.
How'd they learn it?
Yeah. I put them in Hawaiian school.
Wow, I didn't know they had Hawaiian school, like Chinese school.
Yeah, but it's different. Wow. Our schools are awesome. We have these Hawaiian schools that you actually learn. You go to class Tuesday and Thursday. That's for English and math. And Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you're outdoors. So you learn how to build a canoe, paddle canoe, learn plants, medicinal plants, learn how to surf, swim, everything to do with the culture.
Wow.
One with the island.
It's like Hawaiian Boy Scouts.
On steroids.
Yeah.
And where's that island where they have the real Hawaiians that live? You're not allowed to go there.
Well, there's real Hawaiians everywhere, but you're talking about Ni'ihau, which is up by Kauai. There's about 500 Hawaiians that live there, and it's owned by the Robinson family. They owned the island before it became a state, so that's how it's become private. But also my island, Lanai, is owned by Larry Ellison, but he only owns 98% of it, and then the state owns the highways and airport. But that's where my mom lives, so that's where I was born and raised.
Oh, okay. And then you started. I met you probably 10 years ago. We did a show with me, you,
Kaleo Kaleo Pilato.
Yeah, and Kaleo's still doing it?
Yeah, we actually just started doing. I haven't done comedy in like 5 years, 6 years, and then we just started. We're doing the show together on the 13th at Blue Note in Waikiki. It's gonna be our first show together in a long time.
Dude, was your last show our show when we all were there together?
No,
that was a while ago.
That show was Joey there. Joey Gila.
Yeah, Joey. That was like summer 2014.
Was that? I thought it was longer than that. That was probably my last like feature show. But I was touring with a couple of music groups. I was opening for them on the West Coast. So I was just doing like 15 minutes and introducing the group, and then I did like one-offs, like private stuff. But as far as like clubs, and it's been a while. I'm rusty as hell.
Oh, we all are, man. We haven't done it regularly for a year, so
yeah, that's true, right? I just did comedy 2 weeks ago at I felt like I was in a fish tank. It was awkward. It was awkward.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because here's the thing: when you come back, it takes you around a couple months to remember everything.
Yeah, I was lost. I didn't remember shit.
Me either. And you're more happier because you get to perform, but there's no material that you remember. So it's almost like the energy is good, but the material's not there. Where before my energy didn't matter, my material took over, no matter if I was happy or sad.
Right. I was supposed to do 15 minutes. I think I did 7.
That's all I have.
Dude, I couldn't do 10. I was like, I don't know where I am. Like, I know there's chunks of bits. I just don't know how to get there.
Yeah. Wow.
And so you started comedy like probably 15, 20 years ago then, even longer. That's what's weird because I'm terrible. I should be really good, right? I started when I was like 20. I just turned 50. What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I was like 20. I started with Augie. Remember Augie?
Yeah.
Holy shit, you start with Augie?
Yeah, me and Augie did a morning show for 20 years.
Wow.
If you guys don't know, Augie
He's huge.
Toba is the biggest comic, well-known local comic in Hawaii.
Yeah, he's doing movies now and stuff.
Well, that's great.
Hey.
Yeah,
Who's the top now?
There's a lot of young guys now. I don't know a lot of their names, but there's some young guys coming up. But it's how it is. It's not the same. It's weird. It's funny to me. Everyone thinks they're black. Everyone. All the premises it's kind of like all the premises have been used. They're all different, of course, but it seems like it's like, how do you find a new premise anymore? I can't really speak out on that because I just went back to the club literally 2 weeks ago. I did 2 shows in the last 2 weeks, and I just did 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but I didn't get to see everybody. But there's, just through Instagram and Facebook, there's a lot of young new comics now that I don't know. Kaleo is still funny as hell.
Dude, Kaleo is the only guy I know that fucked up Joey Gila's set. Honestly, I was like, because Joey Gila is kind of like the biggest energy comic we know as a Filipino. Bigger than Joe Coy, bigger than Joe Coy.
Yeah. And
then Kaleo, when I first time I met Kaleo was with you. Yeah. And Kaleo was like, can I do a guest spot? And things like, yeah, go on. So just 30 minutes of destroying material.
Yeah.
And he leaves everything on the stage, and then Joey is fucking bombing. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Kaleo and Joey did some shows in Vegas before COVID.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Kaleo and Joey got really close after that trip when he came. So Kaleo's wife is a flight attendant. So Kaleo went to Vegas, and Joey and him did a bunch of shows. I think they did like a whole string of shows for like a year. I don't remember all of them because they invited me to some, but I'm doing more TV stuff now, so I was gone.
Oh, nice. So you do more TV work these days, or just acting and stuff?
Yeah, a lot of hosting and producing. So I have a show right now. Are you guys in LA?
Justin's in LA. Me and Jed are Vancouver.
Okay.
And Ryan's in Toronto.
Okay. My show airs on the Lifestyle Network and Mix TV, which I think is both in Toronto and in Vancouver. And then if you're in LA, my show airs on Lifestyle, also whatever station Padres baseball is on, and a couple other ones. Also on FNX and the Roku box. You can watch it.
Congratulations, by the way. I saw clips.
Cool,
Tell everybody what your show's about.
So one show I do is called Cooking Hawaiian Style. We're in our 15th season, and it's a cooking show.
Nice.
Yeah, celebrities cook for me. So I'm not a chef, but I can cook. But they cook for me, and then I do another show. We just won an Emmy Award before COVID. It's called Yokocho, which I shoot in Japan, which I wrote and produce, and we find hole-in-the-wall restaurants. Yokocho means alley in Japanese. So we find these old 100-year-old restaurants and alleys, 50-year-old restaurants.
That's what me and Ron do. When
That's our dream. That's our
what we do.
You know what? We got to get, when it opens up again, I do Japan probably 5, 6, 7 times a year.
Oh my gosh.
I usually have guests come with me to all these places, so you guys are welcome to come.
Dude, I'm down.
My last episode, I had Mark Arsenal on. You know Mark Arsenal?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we did the Whiskey Factory, me and him.
Nice.
It was hilarious. Yeah.
Shit, like honestly, I didn't know that you were producing all this stuff till maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and I was just like, fuck, man, that's my dream job.
Me too. That's me and Ron's dream.
All Justin and I do, because we do around 30, 40 countries a year, and we videotape all the food. Like I just put out my video right today on my Sri Lanka shows.
Oh, really?
He brought me I did Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and also India separate ones. But the food is insane. Like Sri Lankan food is hotter than Indian and Pakistani. It's
I can't handle heat anymore. Wow.
I can't either, but it tastes so good. And you can
shooting it like with a good camera. Or you're using your iPhone, or what are you doing?
I was using my iPhone. Now I have a good camera, I have a vlogging camera. But whatever I have on my iPhone, it doesn't compare to the camera I have.
Of course. We should talk. The other thing I've been doing is I started a network, a podcast network. So I have a podcast too. I got to get you guys on it, but it's a Hawaii thing. And I'm building 10 podcasts. I have 6 already.
Wow.
What I did was I put them on TV, and then I'm doing a 22-minute podcast, and then you have to go get the whole podcast on YouTube. And we just started the week COVID hit, and it's been going through the roof. But what I'm doing is I'm finding other podcasts to put on the network, so we should talk about maybe you guys.
Dude, I'll send you my clips. Right. Yeah. So what I do, I have 10 Filipino comics on. I basically have a Filipino show that is only Filipino comics. And I've had everything from Edwin San Juan to Joey Gila to.
I didn't get no call. What the fuck?
Well, I didn't know you were full Filipino.
We thought we just
you and Joe Coy are not allowed on.
Right, Joe Coy.
So what I do is we do pictures. We make fun of the memes. We show pictures of ourselves when we were young. We make fun of them. We also do DJ. He does the DJ remixes. So we go play a slow jam, and he'll remix it into hip hop. So we have like altogether we have normally 5 segments on the show and a game show at the end. It's an hour only, but every segment changes. We had 30 different types of segments. So we do this once a month though, like the big show. You are on a show that's a one-on-one conversation basically.
Where's it airing? Where can I watch it?
I'll send you everything because right now my manager is trying to sell it to a television network right now. As we speak, he's from New York and he loves the idea because it's not really a podcast. It's 10 Filipino comics talking about white girls, talking about
it's just basically about white girls.
Yeah. And we do DJ remixes. We make fun of we don't do stand up. We do an intro, 1 minute, talk about whatever you want, and then we do the segments from everything from talking about your parents, talk about beats, MMA, and we just show pictures and videos and make fun of it all day. And I have a computer graphic artist that also puts stuff on while it's happening.
Oh, that's classic.
I'll send you this stuff later on. But that's amazing. So you've been doing that, and so you do Japan why Japan so many times? Is that because it's so synonymous with fucking Hawaii?
Well, I started doing food because of the food show. I started doing food tours. Well, back up just a little bit. I did a show for the Food Network called the Great Food Truck Race, and we won.
That was you. Yes, I remember that.
Wait, so was Sean Felipe on your team, or was that another team?
Me, Sean, and my brother Adam.
Oh, okay.
So we won season 4, and then we just got through shooting Great Food Truck Race All Stars in San Francisco. We were gone for 3 months, so we shot that last year during COVID. It airs I think this summer, and when I did that show, I was traveling all over the world promoting the show because it airs everywhere. It airs in the Philippines. I mean, I was going to the Philippines like every other month. I was going to Japan. I was going to. We did like Good Morning America, all these cities, and we were just doing cooking demos on all these shows. And people started calling me, going, "Hey, when are you going to Japan again? I want to come." So then I brought like 20 friends with me, and I put a package together, and I took them on this food tour, and it was a huge success. Like when we were done, I was getting $500 tips and $300 tips, and my friend was like, "Dude, you should just put together a package, and I'll get all my other friends to come." So I put another package together 3 months later, and I did it again. Anyway, I've been doing them for 8 years. I do about 5 to 6 a year, and that's how I came up with Yokocho. So as I was going, I was taking these people to all these cool places to eat, and they were not expensive. They were cheap places to eat. And if you know Japan, food capital of the world. It's most Michelin stars, best pizza, best Italian food. I mean, everything's there. So I started taking everybody, and then now I have a company that books all my bookings. So last year I was supposed to do 6 trips. And what I do is I take the sponsorship money to produce the show, and I take part of my profits from all these food tours to produce the show, and then it got picked up. So I've been funding my own show and then hoping and praying that it gets picked up by networks. But I got lucky because I got picked up by Philippine Airlines and Hawaiian Airlines. So then it started paying for my travel. Then I started doing China, Korea. I started doing all the Asian countries, and I did Italy and Greece. I just do once a year because it's so far.
Wow, Italy and Greece.
Yeah, the food there is amazing too, man.
Oh, it's awesome. So and I just did I did Penang, which is the street food capital of the world. I did Jakarta, and then when I would go to San Francisco and LA, I would partner with these Filipino chefs, and that we would do pop-up dinners. So the pop-up dinner was tied in with the food tour. At the end of the food tour, you come to my pop-up dinner, and now I do freaking pop-up dinners everywhere.
So you started this on your own, funding your own money and with your own money, and then you just put it online and hope someone saw it and picked it up?
I didn't put it online. I pitched the TV stations. Yeah.
Okay, so it was never online.
Never online. I just started putting my cooking show online on YouTube, and Yokocho, I just put them up because the company I was doing with dissolved. So I'm going to partner with another company to start up Yokocho again.
So when you see
that's amazing
out right now, when you see it, because obviously you were watching other food channels just to prepare yourself and make your own show. What did you find made yours different from a lot of them? Because normally they're, I watch a lot of YouTube food shows. Mark Wynn.
Yeah.
My favorite is Mark.
Yeah.
I also like Sticky Dumplings, but he's kind of a geek, but I like him.
I don't like when Mark does this.
Oh yeah, I don't like when he does this.
All right.
Wow.
Everything is not. Come on.
Like wow.
That's a good question. I think before I did, the way I got the food truck race was partly from Sean, and then the other part was I did Anthony Bourdain. When Bourdain came to Hawaii, I took him around and I fed him and I got to cook for him at my house. Kaleo was on that show as well. And when I did Bourdain, that was it. Fucking my phone didn't stop ringing. They were like, whenever you come to Hawaii, people would call me. So I created the food tour during that time. And when I had the food tour, everybody came. National Geographic, Munchies, Eater, Divers, Diners, and Dives. I've been on all those shows. I've done all those shows. And that's how the food tour popularity got so big. And then when I did my own food tour, when I did my own food show, I kind of, Bourdain was my guy. Bourdain got me a lot of these Food Network shows. Whenever a show would come to town, like Man vs. Food or whatever, Food Network would call his team and his team would give him my name. So even if I wasn't on the show, I would consult it. So I've done a lot of Asian shows as well and European shows. And when they come to town, I would be the guy to take them around because I know the history of the food. My thing is history. So if you watch any of my shows from Yopo Show or Food Network, I'm going to give you history on where it came from. Most people do the history of the people. Mine is the history of the food. Like, for example, where do you guys think shrimp tempura came from?
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Japan.
No. And everyone thinks it's from Japan. It's from Hawaii. So
what?
In the plantation days, people don't realize in 1790 the Chinese came to Hawaii, and then 1806 the Japanese came. Sugarcane became popular in 1852. So all these Chinese and Japanese came to Hawaii to work on the plantation. Now, we never ate bread and never was introduced to oil till the Portuguese came. The Portuguese gave us donuts and they gave us bread. When they came over, they came with the Spanish and brought us cattle. Now, they saw the Japanese guy eating raw shrimp and said, oh, you can't eat that raw. Took the shrimp, put it in batter, put it in oil. That's where shrimp tempura came from. So if you go to any old Japanese restaurant in Hawaii, the shrimp tempura is flat. It's almost like pancake. But if you go take it one step further, there's panko on it. The Japanese took it one step further and put panko.
Yeah,
so they sold it. Just like sushi. Sushi's from China. It's not Japanese. Japanese stole the concept from the Chinese. The Chinese put fish in barrels because there's no refrigeration. And
the Japanese always do that stuff.
Yeah.
Karaoke from
and
the
they make it better. They make it better. So what are you going to do?
Show this video because, okay, this is what normally – so I do my podcast has 4 different types of shows. One of them is a food show where we all throw videos. I totally forgot that you're the biggest foodie. And this is a video that speaking of history, where bulalo came from. Justin, do you have? I just sent it to you.
I love bulalo.
I just sent it to you on our group chat.
Oh yeah, hold up.
And so there's a history of it and a comedy of me cooking food.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And this is one of the things that we do for the show. Everybody brings a video of food.
That's cool.
So Justin has one, I have one, Jed has one, and Ryan has one. And today I was like, oh, put Lanai on the food show, but we'll just talk about food. But since you know so much about videos, it's only a 1-minute video clips. That's all we do, right?
Yeah,
While Justin's getting that ready, when here it is. Okay, look.
Is it? Hold up.
This is it.
Is the sound coming through?
No.
All right, give me a second.
So when you go to Japan every year, how'd you find out that it was originally from China, like sushi?
So I study all of this. I talk to a lot of kupuna, older people, and older chefs. I don't talk to them on how to make the food. I want to know where they learned it and where did it come from. Most people, when you watch a cooking show, want to know how to make it. And then Bourdain did a good. He took another angle. Bourdain was the history behind it, but more the people, not the food. It was more the history behind the people.
And that's what I love. I love
that.
Yeah. So I went the other way and found out the history behind the food. Like, because everyone knows before money, there was spices. We traded spices. So when you come to Hawaii, the Filipino food is different from San Francisco and LA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's different from Vancouver and Toronto. In Hawaii, it's all Ilocano food. But there's a lot of science here.
It's deep fried, but they have like a lot of Ilocano dishes. Like they have the butterfish. Like we went to Helena's.
You went to Elena's. That's Filipino. Helena's is Hawaiian.
Oh yeah. Dude, the food was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's stuff that didn't make it to the mainland from the Philippines.
Right. And that was my whole goal with cooking Hawaiian styles. How do I show off this food we have in Hawaii? Because people get the misconception when they come to Hawaii, they go, I had Hawaiian food. I had a spam musubi. Motherfucker, that's not Hawaiian. That's Hawaiian style, but it was created here, but it's not Hawaiian food. Hawaiian food is very simple, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that came from the war. There was the cans of fucking spam that were given to the soldiers, and they had to use it for musubi, right?
So what happened was the Japanese gave us the ball of rice because there was not a lot of money, and all the taro patches had rice patties in them. So we were growing rice here because the Chinese were here. So when they made the ball of rice, they would put tuna in it or whatever, and then we got Spam and we just put it together and wrapped it with nori from the Koreans, and that's how the musubi came about. But it's not Hawaiian per se.
So what is actual Hawaiian food then? Because
Hawaiian food is taro. Taro with taro, which is taro, where there's over 80 different strands of taro. The Chinese eat a lot of taro, but they eat Chinese taro. Hawaiian taro grows in water, and we in mud, and Chinese taro grows on dry land. The Taiwanese and Chinese also drink it in bubble tea. Okay?
Yeah.
We eat fish, raw fish, also reef fish, and we eat a lot of vegetables. And we also have like ulu. It's very small. The menu is very small. There's not.
It's closer to being Samoan food than anything.
So Samoan, Tongan, Fijian, Micronesian, and Easter Island is all part of the Polynesian Triangle. Up at the top is Hawaii. At the bottom is Easter Island. Over here is Tonga, Fiji, Samoa. We're all the same. We speak the same. We eat the same. So when you say it's like Samoan food, it's Samoan food, but Hawaiian. Again, we didn't have the same spices they had up here. So the flavors are different.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's all the same. It's like, I mean, you got so many different. You know what you guys got to check out?
The markets?
I just did this thing with Charles Olilo from Mamster in LA and Tom Cunan, who just won the James Beard Award, the two top Filipino chefs in America. The three of us went to the Philippines in November, not last year, but the year before, and we shot a TV special with CNN. And it's all over YouTube right now. And they took us all over for 1 month to try all the different Filipino foods. I did not know there are different ethnicities of Filipino food.
Dude.
You want to get schooled? Watch those specials. There's like 10 different videos out.
Justin, how's the video doing? Is it ready?
Yeah, it's ready to go. Me and Ron did that lechon run in Cebu. Like we had like 7.
Me and Justin filmed the lechon run, and we found. So my cousin, I was like, "Hey, Anthony Bourdain said this is the best lechon here in Cebu," and my cousin's like this. That's the worst.
Yes, we went. We went there. It's actually really good, but we went to that guy's spot who did Bourdain.
Yeah, it's called bulechon. Bulechon.
Yeah, bulechon. Yeah.
So the best one is in Dumanhog, where everybody goes to every Sunday. 20 lechons are roasted. I bought half a lechon for $5, bro.
Yeah, it really.
And it was better than anything that we had on the tour, Justin.
Yeah,
we're gonna go.
Dude.
Remember my cousin? We're about to go to my cousin's thing just for the lechon. We just spent $100 fucking flight from Manila just to go eat lechon.
Just to eat 7, 8 different times. We just took an Uber. We just had lechon for like 8 hours.
We have all this on cameras, but we didn't fucking put it together. But I have like hundreds of hours of material, just of video, just food. So this is something that's part of my food show. So Justin, we can show this one. And this is actual real history, even though I'm doing it as a joke. All right. Okay.
Even better.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it really entertaining. And then some people, their comments were funny. I put it on last night. I got 2,000 hits already.
Wow.
And then one person's like, "Hey man, stop joking around. Just give me the fucking recipe."
Have you ever guys watched Drunk History?
No.
Yeah.
Drunk History is badass too.
What's that?
They tell history stories, but they're all drunk. They're all drunk.
This is almost okay. Can you show that, Justin?
So it's just an entertaining way to tell a history story.
Is the video coming through?
No,
we don't see anything. No.
Oh my goodness.
You had it earlier.
All right. Entire screen.
Here we go.
How about now? Now,
Yeah.
Special recipe from the Philippine War, 1944 to be exact. So we had left garlic, tomatoes, onions because of that Japanese. Anyways, you chop that, you take any kind of vegetables. I use carrots. It's good for the eyes. I have diabetes type 2. Self-inflicted shit. Then you choose your meat, chorizo, beef shank. Then any vegetables. I go to the garden, close my eyes. Sauce and also a new one, fish sauce. So this is a recipe that my wife used to cook for me before she left me. Okay.
So I have a whole bunch of these stupid videos.
Those are good.
They're 1 minute of Filipino food with a tito that's stuck in the past.
Where do you put them? Where are they laying?
Just YouTube. I have maybe like 100 hours, Justin, like of our podcast we do.
At least
100 hours of all stuff like this, because these are food videos we bring to the show. Justin makes them, I make him, Jed, and then we put them all together so everybody shows their 2 to 3 minute food clip.
Awesome. And you have a YouTube channel for just the food?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes, Alan Pales. And then when you go traveling, what is your favorite? Because you eat so much and you see so much, and the history makes it more interesting and actually tastes better when you know the history.
Oh, it's 100%. When you know what the blood, sweat, and tears was put behind it, and then you know where it came from and all that, it makes it taste way better. And that's why I do the food tour. So if you come to Hawaii, I have a 2.5-hour food tour.
Holy fuck!
Airbnb. I partnered with Airbnb, and I'm the only Hawaiian food tour in the world.
How come we should have called you? We just worked there right before COVID.
I know. We had no clue, bro.
Jose Dynamite.
We were there the first weekend of November, and like we just did our own tour of Oahu.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I was in the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
The whole month of November. Yeah. No wonder. Jose's. That's what I'm doing. I did the last 2 shows was Jose.
I love that guy. He's awesome.
Jose is open for me and Augie.
Oh, nice. Yeah. He's a good guy. I like him.
But getting back to your question, when I do my food tours, I take you to Kalihi or I take you to Waipahu, which is the 2 oldest plantations in the
Waipahu is all Filipino too, right?
All Filipinos, yeah. But there's a lot of hole-in-the-wall restaurants there that've been there forever, you know. It's a 2.5-hour tour. It's more high-end. I work with the Ritz-Carlton, the Aulani, all the high-end 5-star hotels who do all my booking. So I only do 6 people at a time. I don't do buses or vans or any of that.
Yeah,
dude, let's do this, man.
So you just get a group of people and you show them all the food spots with your knowledge, basically.
Yeah, it starts at 10 o'clock. We start in a local grocery store. I take you on a poke tasting, explain how poke came about, where it came from, how, blah, blah, blah. And then we do a little history on the sugarcane and pineapple. And then I take you to 5 different restaurants to try food. And then at the end, we sit down to eat an authentic Hawaiian meal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin, what's the place we went to in Waipahu?
Man, what place was that?
I can't remember. We did
Helena's? We did Helena's with the H-E-L-E.
Helena's is in Kalihi. That's Hawaiian food.
Oh, okay. I know we went to Waipahu because someone said to me, "Are you guys going to Waipahu?" And I go, "Why?" Because you're from there, right? I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Oh, I thought you were from Waipahu." I go, "Why?" Because you look like you're from Waipahu. Why did they say that?
Because you're Filipino. All Filipinos are from White. So when the plantation days started, there were camps. So you had Filipino camp, Japanese camp, Chinese, Korean, even Puerto Rican and Portuguese. And the Filipinos all moved to Waipahu because that's where their camp was. On the Big Island, you had camps. On the Kauai, you had camps. Wherever there was sugarcane or pineapple, there were camps.
Clipper Allen is asking if there's any restaurants in the Big Island that you can.
No, your food tours. Do you have it on the Big Island?
I do Maui, Big Island, and Kauai, but it's extra because you got to fly me over for the day.
I see. He's gonna be there in April, so he's just asking. Awesome.
Yeah, you can send me an email. I can if you want. I can send you a list of restaurants.
What's your email? So Clipper can get that.
Lanai@me.com.
Okay.
Lanai@me.com. Yeah.
So you have like 3 jobs. You're a stand-up comic, which you don't do as much, but you also you host your own television show, and you host 2 television shows, and also you do a food tour.
Yeah, and I started this. They all go hand in hand. The pop-up dinners and the food tours are my bread and butter. Dang. The stand-up has been like my therapy. Obviously, you know, I'm not doing stand-up full time. Hawaii doesn't have a comedy club. You know, back in the day, Augie had our own club. For 20 years, we had our own showroom for Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And Sharky's is not a club. It's for veterans.
No, we had a showroom in Dave & Buster's for 10 years, and then we had a showroom at the this other spot in Kalihi for a long time. That's when I was at my, you know, doing it. And
all the other big clubs, they started up and then they just went out of business, right?
Yeah.
Comedy Store, Laugh Factory.
Yeah, because there wasn't enough local comics, number one, and then to bring in comics all the time, it's a big expense, you know.
Right.
comics, and they would only bring in the ones that would have a draw, obviously, because if you brought in, say somebody who does the Laugh Factory once a year or whatever for a 3-day, 4-day run, it's not as big as a draw. So it was very touch and go with that. But yeah, my main job is based around food. The pop-up dinners is a big thing for me. They Lifestyle Network created a show around it called the Pop-Up Chef, and we were traveling. We were supposed to do Dubai, Japan. I did the Philippines. I did Hawaii. We did LA. We did San Francisco. We shot 5 episodes, and then ABS-CBN had that huge falling out with the president. So in 2019, I shot 5 episodes of the Pop-Up Chef. You guys got to look that up. This is such a cool show where we feature different pop chefs to do pop-ups in crazy places, like by a pool or in an expensive house or whatever. But I'm trying to bring that back, and I'm working on a new show right now with BJ Penn.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm going to LA on the 16th. We're meeting with the producers and the backing, and it's basically a show about me and BJ Penn training to become a champion. It's the name of the show.
Hey.
Do you train martial arts? Did you do BJJ?
I did when I was a kid, but BJ and I have been friends for 20 years, 25 years or so. And when he was fighting, we'd come on my show all the time, and I also hosted a lot of his weigh-ins and stuff. So we became good friends over the years, and we always talked about what is his regiment like for camp for 3 months. What do you do? So we're going to do a show where we feature regiments of all these different champions, from sumo wrestlers, MMA fighters, boxers, ice skaters, anything to do with a professional sport. And we're going to learn and train with them. And I'm going to be the dummy because I'm not a champion. So I'm going to be the guy trying to keep up, obviously. And then I'm going to do the food portion of their regiment. Like, what do they cook? What do they eat to become a champion?
I met him. We brought him down for a seminar because I'm a BJJ guy since 1991.
Oh, nice.
So we flew him out. So I have pictures with him. He probably doesn't remember me. All he kept saying was, "I hate Samoans." But anyways, we brought him out to eat. This idiot tried to fight him in the dance club. We're like, get the fuck out.
That's the problem right now. He's getting everybody, and that's why he doesn't do seminars anymore, because everybody wants to say they beat him or hurt him, or they can't just roll with him. They want to say that they beat him, and then people always want, we're trying to keep him out of the clubs because people always want to say they want to fight him. You know.
Yeah, I started jiu-jitsu 91 with Hoist Gracie and my brother. My brother, we didn't know who Hoist was because UFC wasn't on yet.
Yeah,
their club, their jiu-jitsu gym was across the street from my cousin's house.
Wow.
So me and my brother walked in and saw the challenge matches live.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we got into it after we lost because we tried. Right, and my brother trained with BJ in the Big Island 5 years ago. He trained with, or maybe 6 years ago, with his brother.
Name?
Richard.
I'll ask him. He's supposed to call me tonight. We usually
ask him. He trained with his brother, his skinny guy.
Regan,
yeah.
Yeah, all their brothers are badass. He has 4 brothers. So everyone thinks I'm a Penn.
Right.
Because we all look alike. And my other brother looks just like BJ. I don't look nothing like BJ next to him, but I get stopped all the time. And he gets stopped. I always call him Lanai, which is funny.
Is he Filipino too? Like mixed like you?
Isn't he Korean? He's a Korean white, right?
He's Korean, Haole, Hawaiian, Chinese.
Man, I thought he was Filipino, man. I thought he was straight up Filipino.
So his teeth is like this.
See, that's his face.
Yeah, but
Your Italian side did this. Toink.
Yo, is this gym? Does he still have that gym that used to be the old Pipeline Cafe? Is that?
He has like 6 gyms.
Is one of them Pipeline Cafe?
Used to be Pipeline, yeah. So that's
where all the comedy
UFC BJ Penn gym. He has one in Kapolei. He has one in Kaneohe. He has one on the Big Island, and I think he has 2 more somewhere else. So yeah.
That used to be the big comedy venue, right?
Yeah,
in Hawaii back then.
They used to bring Rex out, and I used to open for him. Jedrocks to own it.
Jed, yeah.
He doesn't do that no more. Jed's done.
No, Jed's getting older. He's running a restaurant right now. Man, we used to bring out Rex all the time. You know what? I used to bring out, me and Augie used to bring out guys too all the time. And I remember bringing Joe out for like $500.
Joe
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Joe don't even return my calls now.
I remember, yeah, Joe used to sell, man, he packed that thing out. Like they would put like people sitting on the stairs to get to fill that in.
But when you first brought Joe, was there a big crowd? No, he was smaller.
No,
Right?
Joe, nobody knew who Joe was at the beginning. He just started taking off. But he was killing it.
He's a destroyer. He's just
like bang, bang, bang.
$500. Damn, dude.
Yeah.
That's that's pennies to him now.
Yeah.
He's the biggest draw of comedy in Hawaii for sure now.
Oh yeah, he sold out shows here in Hawaii.
The arena, right?
Yeah, he did like 14 at the theater, and then he came back and he did like 5 or 6 at the arena or something like that.
Damn, man. That's
he just has this connection with Hawaii. It's the Filipinos in Hawaii, obviously, but
right.
Yeah, he just has this connection with Hawaii. It's cool. It's good to see.
So does Augie? Is he done because he's doing more TV now? He's not really doing.
No, so Augie is he's a politician. He just won.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He's always been a big. Me and him have always done community service stuff a lot for our whole careers, and he's always wanted to be a politician and make some changes. He said he's retired, but he's retired like 3 times. So I don't know. People are asking us to do a reunion show. We talked about it about 6 months ago, but we'll see. I don't know. It's totally up to him. He's the draw. I'm not the draw anymore. He's the draw.
And how's Andy Bumatai doing?
Oh, he's doing good. He's retired though. He was just on my podcast. He's legend. Him and Augie are the ones that got me into comedy. Him, James Grant Benton, and Andy. If you guys don't know Andy Bumatai, Google him. He was one of the first Asians, Polynesians. He opened for everybody from Rodney Dangerfield to. He was on the same stage as Pryor and Seinfeld and those guys. He was in that class.
I saw his Showtime specials or his. He did like a Showtime special with Pat Morita. It was like the host.
He was the MC. Pat Morita was
the MC. Yeah, when he was doing comedy still.
Andy did. Andy was like when you go to Vegas, before they had the digital signs, he was like the guy at Caesar's Palace.
Really?
Yeah.
Not the California hotel.
Maybe a year ago, and he was like, "Are you from Hawaii?" I go, "No, I'm Filipino. I'm from here, from Canada." He's like, "Oh," I go, "But I know I did a show with Andy Bumatai. Actually, Andy jumped on my show. You know the booker for Sharkies, the girl
back in the day. Yeah.
So she put this tour for me in Hawaii 5-6 years ago, and he just popped in and goes, "Can I get some time?" I'm like, "Sure." He destroyed. He did 40 fucking minutes. All right. And every night he just kept coming in, and then I go, "Can someone tell him not to do 45 because I can't do my full time because they have to close at 11."
Yeah.
And it's Andy. I'm like, "So I'm doing 20 minutes a night?" And they're like, "I guess so." I go, "Why don't he go last then?"
Yeah.
And they go, "Andy, would you want to go last?" He's like, "No. You know what? I'll just do 15 and I'm okay." Yeah. But he had long hair. He had a fucking motorcycle. He had a jacket. He was like 70 years old. Then he tried to hook me up with the cruise tours out there.
Oh, nice. He's the man. He probably has like 5 hours of material, but he always forgets. He always tells me I forget. I remind him, like, "You should do this one." He goes, "You can have it." I go, "No, I don't want it. You should do it." You know what I mean? Like, he's a genius.
Didn't he do like a tour on his motorcycle? Like he went around.
He did it with Harley Davidson for or something. Yeah.
That's insane, man. That's wild.
How's the brothers doing?
They're doing good. One of them's my cousin. I just had a meeting with them yesterday. They're hurting right now, obviously, like everybody else. They're more characters. They don't do
they're like sketch, right?
Sketch. They do a lot of sketch. They've been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah, Rex was telling me he couldn't follow them when they did the tour together. He goes, "I couldn't follow these guys. They were just too good at their characters and stuff. It was like insane." And characters too, but if you're gonna compare character to character, it's gonna be hard because those guys are 20-year vets in sketch.
Yeah. And their improv is insane. Their improv is insane. But
Is
they're
it
going to Manoa Theater. I'm sorry, Justin?
It's kind of like the old school type of vaudeville type of straight man and type of comedy, the straight man and the buffoon type of comedy.
But their characters are funny because they both play straight guys and they both play the buffoon.
Oh, cool.
So all their characters are in pairs. Like they have two Samoan guys, they have two Hawaiian guys, they have two Portuguese. It's fucking hilarious. They're really good live. The television show's been going on for a long time, but it's not as good as live.
So it's kind of like Laurel and Hardy, but on a different level.
Yeah, all different characters. Their Filipino characters are awesome too.
Wow.
Here's the guys that I know. So Andy was the first, or was it Pat Morito?
No, Pat wasn't even. Pat just was It was an actor. It was this group called Booga Booga. Booga Booga was 3 comedians: Rap Replinger, who was the master genius of all, James Grant Benton, and Ed Kahea. They were the 3 that, and this other guy, Ken Bowman, who started kind of stand-up comedy. So there was this was in the 60s. This was before clubs.
So
I think I saw
was part of that.
Andy was right under them, and Andy became part of Booga Booga. Booga Booga was a sketch act, and that's where the Bradas came from. The Bradas got their growing. They grew up with Booga Booga, and they all passed away. And then the Bradas kind of took their place. And then Andy, James, Paul Ogata, Augie, they all kind of were the big comics in the 90s and early 2000s.
Where's Mel Kabang fall in that timeline?
Mel was with Andy too, and Mel. I can't believe I forgot to mention Mel. Mel just passed away, by the way.
He passed away, like last year, right?
Yeah, Mel was my boy. When Mel went to jail, he went to jail for gambling. He's a big gambler. Anyway, what he used to do, Waikiki, I'm not joking you. He would do Waikiki. My mom would go watch him, and he was supposed to do a 1-hour show, and it would start at like 6:30, 6 o'clock, and he would finish at midnight.
Dang, what?
Yeah, he was up there, and he would take 2 breaks. But he was up there with his guitar and a spotlight, and he just picked on people. And you know who used to watch him all the time? Who used to come to Hawaii and watch him all the time? Bill Maher. Bill Maher is Mel Kabang. You ask Bill Maher who's his favorite comedian, he'll tell you today, Mel Kabang.
Wow.
And
that's insane.
So all that Bill Maher group would watch Mel. And Mel was an improv guy as well, but he was dirty. Yeah. What's up, Australia?
What's up, Ross?
Well, somebody watches this show.
Well, you know what? We get around 6,000 people
Nice.
within the week because they get to watch it on my. Like right now, you're probably going to see 300. But they spread it around within a week it goes from 3 to 6,000 people.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those things where people don't know. Before COVID, nothing was that detailed. Now everybody has a podcast. Everybody's talking about inside things.
Yeah.
And so now the industry wants inside Hawaiian, inside Filipino. They don't want global, like just universal. They want to see your POV within your world.
You're right.
The world that I live in, it's all on my TikTok, my YouTube, my IG. So you'll see me travel. I used to do. I would live in LA, but every 2 weeks I'd be another country or another state or another city,
That's
and
awesome.
I would always go to the food places the comics would bring because comics know where the best food is.
All the time.
Yep.
All the time.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is I've been out of comedy for so long. I didn't realize how many new Filipino comics there are.
Well, I counted because I put them all on my show.
How many?
So 42.
What?
Whoa.
I have 42 comics on the show. This is number 38, but since the beginning, I always bring new Filipino comics.
How many out of the 42? How many you think are like making a living?
15.
15.
I counted 15. That's it.
15.
Me, Justin, Joey Gila, Kevin Kamiya, the new kid. What's his name?
J.R. de Guzman and Angelo Rolfo.
Angelo Rolfo. The only people that haven't been on my show is Rex and Joe Coy and
Nico Santos.
And you got to get Kaleo on.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm going from North America to Hawaii, to the Philippines, to India. Like I'm doing my rounds now because I it's like I meet Filipino comics in Australia, Filipino comics in Denmark. I know a Filipino magician in Sweden.
Wow.
So
you know what I really been wanting to do? I've been going to the Philippines a lot the last 10 years, and I can't get it together. Joe paved the way for it now because now I have connections in Philippines at, the hotel they were at. I have connections there now. I really want to do a week of Filipino comics, Philam comics.
Yeah, man.
I think if you can get all 15 of, you know what I mean? Like if you did, you wouldn't put all 15 on one night, obviously. But if you did like 5, 5, and 5.
It'd be like a festival.
And we did a 1 month.
Well, guess what, Kaleo? Guess what? That was supposed to happen in September before COVID. I was on a lineup with around 20 Filipino Philam comics.
How come I didn't get the call?
Because it wasn't done yet. It was we only had 6. I was supposed to bring the Philam.
Who was putting it together?
GB, he ABS-CBN guy.
Oh well, they're gone now.
Well, now no, it's online now. So
it's online.
It's still gonna happen when. So I'll connect you to GB because GB is the king of the Philippines when it comes to comedy, setting up. He's part of the agency that sets up comedy, but he is the best Filipino comedian from the Philippines right now.
Where does he live?
He lives in Manila, but he travels around the world, and he's so fucking funny, and he doesn't have to do it in Tagalog.
Yeah, he does bilingual.
The tour that you and Justin are on, are you guys doing them with him? All these shows?
Well, we didn't really do it. The tour I was doing with Justin, we were doing separate tours, and then I got a gig with Jose, and I said, "Hey, can I have Justin come in?" So he goes, "Yeah, bring Justin." So that was our tour. Me and Justin did, I think 2 or 3 shows in the Oahu, but the one we did overseas was a separate tour that I did through Magner's Comedy Festival, and that's where I met GB and all the Filipino comedians. And they run shit good, man.
Are you getting Filipinos? You guys getting Filipinos? What's the percentage of Filipinos coming out?
100% in the Philippines.
100%.
Yeah,
in the Philippines.
In the Philippines.
No. I know all your tours, like all your other shows and stuff. When you go to, Sri Lanka.
This was what's happening. So I started going overseas 15 years ago. So I go to the same places now. I get around 30 to 50 Filipinos that come out on these shows overseas now.
I see.
So Sweden gets Filipinos out, Norway, Copenhagen, and then India. Believe it or not, Filipinos are in India, and they came out to see me. Because what they do is they put the Filipino, they fucking email all the Filipino organizations. Hey, a Filipino's coming. And they're like, "Oh, Joe Coy," and they're like, "No, not Joe Coy." And, but you know what? They don't ask about Rex anymore because Joe Coy kind of like shadowed him. Yeah,
Rex got fucking bum deal on this one because I love Rex. He's
he had a great 15-year run. Like it doesn't last forever.
Yeah, I know.
And the next guy is gonna take out Joe Coy too. It could be Ryan. It could be Ryan McLuna. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh yeah, do it, Ryan. Do it.
Oh, stop.
But when you also traveled with all these comics and everything, why is it that comics love food so much? Like, what the fuck is that? Because that's a thing.
I'll tell you why. Somebody asked me this on an interview a couple months ago. The reason is because what does a fucking comic do on the road? Nothing. When you're bored, what do? You eat. You want to look for the best places to eat. The comic has the best job in the world. You get paid, a couple grand for 45 minutes or 15 minutes, right? Whatever it is.
For free.
The rest of the day, you don't do nothing. Yeah. You're either watching Pornhub.com and you're looking for food to eat. So that's my theory. And when I travel, I don't. Like I was on an email with some friends the last trip we went on. I always put my trip together and I go, all right, we're eating at all these places on this day, Monday. We're going to this. I got a reservation here. We're going to this place. They're like places you can't get in. We're going to go here. And then one of my friends goes, what are we going to see? Where are we going sightseeing? I'm like, motherfucker, the sightseeing is going to be there. We'll go whenever. We'll go eat at these places. We'll fit in the sightseeing when we're not eating.
Oh yeah. And what would you say is your favorite restaurant in Hawaii right now for your I love the kitchen, but I like something more specific because the kitchen's good, but it's not
They
like
closed.
what?
They closed because of COVID. The owner just called me.
Dang.
The girl, what's her name? She's Greek.
Yes. So we did shows with her in.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a big crush on her, man. Fuck.
Yeah. Her name's Mariah. She's a good friend of mine.
I love her. She's such a good girl because I was there 2 years ago. She wasn't even in the kitchen. She set me and my brother and my nephew and my brother's family up. We didn't pay 1 cent, man.
Yeah.
And our bill was at least $150.
Yeah,
she's such
awesome.
an amazing person.
Is that in Lahaina?
Right by the airport.
Maui.
Maui. Yeah. Maui.
Yeah, Maui, right?
Yeah. So in
Kahaluu?
Hawaii, there's so many good restaurants, but when you talk about hole in the walls, right now there's a couple. It's Ethel's Grill, which has been around for like 50 something years. Bourdain used to eat there all the time.
Ethel's Grill.
Yeah, there's only like 6 places there. And then it's this new place. It's called Olena, which is a Filipino chef from my island, Lanai. He's my classmate. He used to work at the Four Seasons, and he was like, fuck this corporate thing. I'm opening up my own place, and he does like these gourmet plate lunches that are awesome.
Wow.
Those two, and then when you talk about like high-end places or a little bit more classy, Chef Chris Kajioka, Tin Roof on Maui, Sheldon Simeon, the Filipino chef. He's been on my show several times. He won Bravo's Top Chef. Tin Roof is down the street from the kitchen.
Right.
That place is banging too.
Which place?
Tin Roof.
Tin Roof.
It's on Maui, yeah.
What was the name? What was the guy? Pokestop. How's that guy doing?
Elmore, he's doing good. He's from Maui too. He does more poke though. Just
what?
poke. He does more poke, yeah.
Oh, poke, man.
But is it better to go to those places or the market? Because we and Justin went to the market and we saw so much more poke there, man.
Both. So you want Foodland is one of the top 5 poke suppliers.
Are you kidding me?
No. And they do about 1 million pounds of poke a month.
The grocery store.
Grocery store.
You just say 1 million?
Yeah, they're all local chefs, Filipino.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you have Tanioka's, which is in Waipahu, probably my first favorite, I should say.
What's
and then Foodland and Alicia's Market is like tied. But yeah, there's a lot of good poke spots, man. I shouldn't even. I did a poke documentary. You guys should watch it. It's on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's your favorite poke?
Shit.
My favorite, honestly, is the I love the octopus one.
Taco poke.
Yeah, I love that. Like but for the fish, it would be yellowtail. I love the yellowtail.
You like the yellow? Yeah. So ahi poke would be your ahi is the yellowtail.
That's the yellowtail. What's yours?
I like them all. I can't. I'm in the mood for a different one all the time. Obviously we eat a lot of ahi poke, but I like opihi. I like taco. There's all different types that I really like.
I'll do salmon anytime, any day.
Salmon is awesome too. I do a salmon, green onion, ginger poke that everyone really loves. We do it
man. Dude, you're my fucking idol, bro. Like when I turn 50, I want to do you have all my bucket list goals in life. Seriously, like comedy, TV, food, show host,
Justin,
and food tours.
We should do it together. Look,
bro,
I'm going to tell you the secret of putting a show together. The secret is everyone knows you need funding, right? You get the funding, you can do whatever you want. Go through your phone book and see how many guys you know that have money. I guarantee you know about at least a dozen, right?
Just Joe Coy. That's it. That's all I know.
That would be a good show. Comedians eating food. Comedians getting food.
Dude, bro, that was remember Ron, we were talking about that? We were just pitching.
So bouncing. Our dream was really to have a food show like you.
Yeah.
And look, so here's the video. Show part 1. It's only fast. It's only a minute. But this is like what I do for when I travel. So that's a Sri Lanka gig. Look, it shows food and then the show. I think did you get that, Justin?
Yeah, the bulalo.
You guys get the Sri Lanka, the first one, not part 2.
You guys know who created comedians in cars getting coffee, right?
Besides
Seinfeld?
Andy Bumatai.
Oh my God.
He was doing that. It was on television 10 years before he did that show.
Dang.
Hey man,
just comedians. He did celebrity.
When a white man takes an idea, it gets.
So is Andy bitter?
Oh yeah, he was pissed because
Dang, dude.
you don't have the money to fight Netflix.
Right.
Yeah, man, he's so bitter. His last name turned to Ampalaya.
Oh, damn.
Show the video of Sri Lanka.
Write that one down.
All right, hold on.
Sri Lanka. I mean,
translate to what Ampalaya means to all our non. It's bitter melon people.
It's my favorite, by the way.
You know, for my favorite when I go to Hawaii is I love the food trucks first of all, but the ones I first had with the garlic rice and the shrimp from the ocean.
Yeah,
it's
the shrimp
such
truck.
a thirsty thing, but when you first have it, you're like, whoa, this garlic just
Giovanni shrimp truck.
Huh?
Giovanni shrimp truck. You want to take a guess how many plates they do a day?
1,000.
Higher.
What?
Higher.
2,000?
No, not that much.
A
14.
Samoan does already 100, so you know.
1,400 plates at $14 cash.
Hey, that's
6
wild.
7 days a week.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
A question off topic. Do you know Max Holloway?
Yeah.
I love that guy. He's like his last fight. That was a clinic.
He schooled him out.
Dude, that reminds me, Lanai. I got a third cousin in Japan, half Filipino, who is a sumo wrestler.
Top sumo.
Yeah, what's that?
What's his name?
Top guys.
Oh, is Daiki? Man, I forgot his last name.
You got it. Are you keep in touch with him?
Yeah, well, I keep in touch with his mom, which is my aunt. It's my dad's cousin.
You gotta.
He only speaks Japanese. So
Set me up with him. I want to meet him.
Yeah.
The reason I started going to Japan is 25 years ago. 2 of my friends were big sumo wrestlers, and that's how I learned about all the food.
Bro, there's actually, I was surprised to see there was a few Filipino sumo wrestlers when I went there. Some are mixed, some come from the Philippines and go there. They don't speak any Japanese and they just train. They don't even speak the language. They just do all hand motions and body language.
Hawaii has 3 Yokozunas. Those are like the Michael Jordan.
Yeah. The top Yokozuna of I think is Mongolian, the one biggest of all.
Yeah, the last one, yeah.
But he wasn't even bigger than everybody. He was kind of small, but he was so good.
But he was just stocky and strong.
When he came to Hawaii, we took him out to eat, and he lost his wallet. Then it was after the exhibition, and I asked his translator, I said, how much was in the wallet? He said his check was in there. I said, what check? He said, the check he got from the exhibition. I said, how much, what is it? He said, 15,000. I was like,
Oh,
Fuck.
what?
Here, show this video, and then we can.
Is the sound coming through?
Yeah.
Where am I? You on Diet Coke or Zero Coke? Zero Coke.
This is all curry.
Lotus root.
Lotus with chips. Wow.
Just 3 people looking at the sky.
This is called brown racism, guys.
roasting each other.
The biggest racists I know.
They're always making fun of each other,
Right here.
especially Umar. Wow, curry crab.
Honesty in Pakistani no.
This is hot dog, right?
Curry fish.
Chicken, right?
They masturbate to Hollywood heroines.
Cuttlefish. Wow.
And then press 2, and then it shows like.
You
So-
gotta shoot it this way.
What?
You gotta do landscape. Ron,
So this is I gave you the wrong one. This one is for TikTok.
Oh, this is for TikTok. My bad.
This is for this. The one you're showing. This one is for. Yeah. Just show. Yeah. Let's just show this one. Yeah. So I do these like the 30 or 40 different countries. I have like a minute of like that.
That's
But-
dope. How is the audience in Sri Lanka?
Unfucking believable. Because if you go to India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, the audience that goes to comedy are the richest people in the city. Because comedy there is a red carpet event.
I see.
Only millionaires can afford this.
And all English.
All English.
All
They
English,
went to
yeah.
school in British schools there, so they can travel internationally, and they're taught to speak English when they're kids, so they can learn the business language.
Yeah.
So that was around 2,000 seated audience. And then Pakistan was like 1,000, and then India is a comedy club. They have 5 comedy clubs, and it fits 400 people. It looks like the Comedy Store in LA because the owner went there in the 80s and he built exactly like it.
So comedy's big, huh? I'd love to go on and do a show with you guys. Let me know what we can do.
Dude, if you want to be on our shows, fucking let me know, man. I always everybody every time I go overseas, I go bring your. I brought Justin. His first time in fucking Malaysia was a festival.
Yeah, that was with Penang, right?
I don't mind hosting or doing 10, 15 minutes, but I don't do any features or any anymore.
I seen you on stage. You fucking amazing host because you were hosting all of our shows. You killed it as a host.
Dude, that joke you did about the Samoan swing or something, they hold on to the. How does it go again? They hold on to who? What is
hold your hand in your feet and you swing around like that.
Samoan swing.
Well, I forgot about that. Right,
dude, I remember it. It was so funny to me.
It's been a minute. Wow. Well, I'm glad you guys hit me up to do this, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
like
man.
honestly, man, you were in the back of my head for a few months already because I was like, I got to get Lanai on because the show started off with every week we did 10, 12, 15 Filipino comics. And then I just turned that to once a month. But now I bring the food guys on and then MMA guys on. And then, so there's different shows within the show.
I see.
Yeah. But for you, I was like, yeah, man, I know this guy's killing it right now with the food. And I didn't know you had all those shows until 5 months ago.
Yeah, I'll send you all the links. I've done so many since I've seen you guys. I've done so many shows.
Dude, sounds like it. Damn.
Do you want to show him the video of Helena? Do you have it ready, Justin, or not really? If you don't, then don't.
Yeah, I can't find it.
We'll prepare it, and we'll just in the future. But
wait. Again, Justin, you're in LA?
I'm in LA. Yeah, are you coming through here? I'm like 30 minutes east of LA.
Okay, I'll be in the OC on the 16th. I get on the 16th on the night.
I'm 30 minutes to OC too. Where in OC are you gonna be?
I'm right by Ruka, like 5 minutes from Ruka, the warehouse.
Okay. Yeah.
You guys know Tim Caliente?
I don't think I know Tim.
He's full Filipino. He's like the photographer for Madonna, Seal, Tool, all the big celebrities. He's the official photographer for Coachella. Anyway, he has a warehouse in the Orange County. I think it's the Block Arena, one of those big South Coast Plaza.
Oh, okay, yeah, in Costa Mesa, yeah.
Costa Mesa, and he has a warehouse. He took over the Sears warehouse. He painted it white and put a helicopter pad. He does the marketing for Koenig race cars, the fastest race car in the world.
Wow.
But he's there. He's got some stories. You guys should get him on your show.
How do you get him on the show?
Yeah, I'll get you guys on the show. I'll hook him up with you guys.
Please.
Sure, man.
That'd be sick.
What's your podcast network? What's your network or show?
My podcast is called It's a Hawaii Thing. I hosted with Brooke Lee, who was Miss Universe 10, 15 years ago.
It's a Hawaiian thing?
It's a Hawaii thing.
Thing.
That's my podcast. And the other podcast I have is a sports one called Running It Back. We have a podcast called Culturize. I have a music podcast, which is called Makua. Didn't start yet. It starts next month. And I have a tech podcast, which starts next month. I also have a podcast called Wine and.
What's that about?
Wine and chocolate, wine and watches, wine and anything to drink with wine.
I got a wine sponsor I could hook you up with.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's the only Filipino-owned and operated winery in U.S.
Where?
It's 10, 15 minutes from me. So if you're in OC, you can come down here. We can show you around
Toluca or whatever?
No, out here in Montclair is where they have it. It's like 30, 40 minutes east of LA.
You know that I've been making wine for the last 9 years?
What?
In Santa Ynez, California.
Bro, you are
above LA.
You're the Filipino version of the world's most interesting man. Seriously, dude. Wine, food, comedy.
I only do 500 cases, and I only sell it in Hawaii and California. But yeah, my winemaker's Hawaiian, so we're the only Hawaiian Filipino wine. I guess now there's another Filipino
Oh,
guy.
so I guess you guys were the first. I had no idea. So all your grapes come from Hawaii, or you?
No, San Ynez, California, Central Coast.
Okay, yeah. So Paso Robles, or
Yeah, it's Los Olivos by
Yeah.
Santa Barbara. Yeah.
they get the one here. They get their grapes from Paso Robles, Temecula, which is 45 minutes, and
Yeah.
Napa.
Yes. Yeah. I'm in Napa all the time.
Yeah, man, dude. That's awesome, man. What's your
So how many podcasts do you have?
On right now?
Like, yeah, because I'm trying to. I'll plug everything. So, name everything so people can watch you.
Just my podcast. It's a Hawaii thing. If you can follow it, follow us on Instagram and YouTube at It's a Hawaii Thing. My cooking show is at Cooking Hawaiian Style.
Okay.
My Yoko Cho show, it's not on right now. That's not on any social media. That was just for television. My new show should be out soon. The Pop-Up Chef is at the Pop-Up Chef. That one should be on YouTube now because it was on Lifestyle Network, and I believe they put them on YouTube, but I'm not sure. I have to go check.
So and you said like when you go to Japan, is that for that show when you go to Japan?
For Yoko Cho, yeah. But my food tours, anyone can do. I take minimum of 4 people. If you take less than 8, it's more expensive, but it's very cheap. I charge. It's like $2,800 for air, hotel, 7 nights, 5-star hotel, and I host you. It doesn't include the food, but I take you to some amazing places, and then I take up to 18 people. So it's a very small, intimate food tour.
Is that through Airbnb Experience? Did you set up?
No, my food tour in Hawaii is through Airbnb Experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also Expedia, but Airbnb does most of my bookings.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So how often, because of COVID, obviously it's harder to travel.
Yeah, it's.
But are you guys allowed to go to the mainland still?
Yeah, we are. When we come home, we have to take a COVID test. That's the hard part.
I heard about that. Like they're stricter now.
Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah.
And how many how many restaurants have you noticed that closed down since this happened?
1,000 businesses have closed in the last 9 months.
How many?
Dang.
1,000.
Oh my God.
That's a lot. Small businesses now, and probably 50% of those restaurants.
Right. So that kind of so when you do these food shows now, it's those surviving places that are still operating, and you're still. Are you still going to go to Japan, or it's still not? You're not allowed to go there.
We are. I have because last year I had 6 trips planned, and they all moved to this year.
Yeah.
So now they're probably going to get moved to next year. I'm just waiting. We're waiting.
Well, they're doing the Olympics this year, no matter what.
Yeah, without an
Are you
audience.
serious?
Yeah, they're still holding it.
Yeah, there's not going to be anybody watching live anyway.
Len, I had a question from a viewer here. About poke. Is that the same thing as a chirashi bowl, or what is that exactly?
No, so poke means to cut, cube, or slice. So you can pretty much make beef poke. You can make crab poke.
Oh,
Poke, you can all different kinds of poke. Poke is a Hawaiian word to cut, cube, or slice. When you look at a chirashi bowl, so back one step. Japanese think they invented poke. When they would go on fishing boats, they would scrape the belly and mix it with soy sauce and wasabi. Hawaiians invented it with white reef fish. Nobody used ahi until the 70s. And it didn't become popular until probably the 90s. And then, of course, now it's just blown up. But if it's not marinated in the sauce, you're not eating authentic poke. Well, all these poke shops are opening, making like salads. Those piss us off because it's a misinterpretation of what our poke is. The chirashi bowl is Japanese, and that's different cuts of fish. So what they would do is, if you went to a sushi bar, and you know how they cut the pieces to make the sushi, and then there's all the extra little pieces. That's what they made the bowl out of. They take all the little extra pieces.
All the scraps.
Rice, yes.
Right. Wow.
Hey man, that's amazing. Well, you know what? I can't wait to go to Hawaii next time. But I mean, hopefully, do they allow Canadians in right now, or is it still?
They allow everyone. You just have to have your COVID test. And I can't believe you guys have been here twice since we met, and you never called me.
Yeah, I thought you were in the Philippines.
Yeah.
I thought you were in the Philippines. Were you? Yeah.
November I was. November.
Thank you for coming on the show, man.
No, you guys are awesome. Hey, I know I don't.
Thanks for coming on.
And I'm proud of you guys spreading that Filipino comedy and keep doing what you guys are doing, man. We're taking over the world.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I'll definitely have you back in a bit. But when this shit kind of COVID's kind of calmed down a bit, and we have more videos and more travels, and we'll see each other a little bit more then.
For sure, and get me on those. I want to do some shows with you guys and the Philippines thing too. I really want to do it.
I'll hook it up, man. I was supposed to bring the American, the Phil Amps to the Philippines. Me and GB were working it together until.
You know what you do? Tell him I have a really good tie with Philippine Airlines, and what we do is we'll fly you guys here first. We do a show here in Hawaii, and then we go there. You know what I mean?
Let's do a Zoom meeting next week with him.
Set it up.
Yeah, we'll set that up for sure. 100%.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, man. That was one of my favorite podcasts, man.
You say that to everybody. Don't lie to me.
No,
hey.
you know, I told some guys that I don't want you ever back. So,
hey, I want to follow all you guys on social media. So, you know what? Let's take a picture so I can get.
I just followed you.
Okay, cool.
Take a picture and throw in your story, and then we will.
Yeah, I will.
Sure. Stuff.
Everybody smile. All right, and then what's the podcast name on Instagram?
Ron the World. RON the World.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine's ROFL show.
No, he's talking about this one.
This one?
Ron the World.
Oh, okay, my bad.
But
this one is Ron the World.
Send me all you guys' info.
All right. We'll do it, man. It's just a line, Lanai at me.com.
Lanai at me.com. That's it.
Anything else you guys want to plug?
Yeah, check out me on Instagram at Lanai.
At Lanai. Anybody else?
That's it.
All right.
I did some things on Pornhub.com, but we can't talk about that on
OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, I saw you in the tranny. That was good.
All right, boys.
All right, thanks so much, man.
Yeah, thanks again.
Salamat po. Aloha.
Take care. Aloha, brother. Take care, man. Thank you.
Mahalo, you guys. Aloha.
Mahalo, man. Take care, man.
See ya.